Persija Jakarta is the biggest team in the capital of Indonesia and one of the best supported sides in the country. Jakarta is a melting pot of cultures, religions and socio-economic classes, which makes it really difficult to form identities. And this is what makes the story of its fan base, the Jackmania, so unique.
For most big teams in Indonesia, the supporter base is closely linked to the largest ethnic group of that particular region. But society in Jakarta is multi-ethnic, of different socio-economic classes, which makes it very difficult to get fans to the stadium. And that is what makes the story of Persija's fans unique, to be able to beat the odds to become one of the best supported teams in Indonesian football.
We've got teams here like South Jakarta, and we've got West Jakarta, and we've got East Jakarta, and nobody really cares about it. They may get a few fans when they play in Liga 3, but that's about it. Whereas North Jakarta, Persitara, they're a team with a bit of history behind them, they've got an identity behind them, but they struggle big time because apathy from the local government.
But it was the governor of Jakarta who had come to Persija's rescue in 1997. Towards the end of the dictatorship regime of Suharto, the governor of Jakarta, Sutiyoso, needed the support of the masses to stay in power in the democratic era.
Persija was struggling and they desperately needed the funds. And in the 3 seasons leading up to the takeover, they had been almost relegated. And when Bang Yos took over, his motive was to use football as a tool to gain the popularity of the masses. But not only did he inject the funds, but it's also rumored that the then most popular team in Jakarta, which was Pelita Jaya, was driven out of the city to cut off competition for Persija. He also changed the colours of Persija. He changed it from red and white to orange, apparently because he was a big supporter of the Dutch national team. And not only did he want Persija to play like the Dutch national team, he also wanted them to look like them.
With government backing and no competing clubs of its stature in the city, Persija had to establish a fan base. An uphill task of unifying scattered identities of different socio-economic classes under one roof.
Jackmania itu didirikan tanggal 19 Desember 1997 oleh 40 orang. 40 orang itu sampai saat ini kita sebutnya GM atau pendiri Jackmania. Yang saya tahu Jackmania itu didirikan memang sebagai Persija Fans Club karena dulu Persija sangat tidak ada penontonnya, sangat tidak ada pendukungnya. Jadi ada 40 orang yang berbicara dengan manajemen yang akhirnya mereka sepakat untuk mendirikan Jackmania. Lalu kenapa namanya di Jackmania? Jacknya itu dari Jakarta pasti. Nama-namanya itu lagi tren di Jakarta.
Saya nonton di GBK pada saat itu di Jack itu Jackmania hanya sedikit, hanya satu sektor. Bahkan itu di sektor lain di GBK itu kebanyakan other supporter gitu, from other clubs. Jackmania walaupun sedikit tapi atraktif, kreatif, suaranya lantang, bernyanyi gitu dan mendukung Persija dengan sepenuh hati.
Sulit sekali orang untuk datang ke stadion saat itu di tahun-tahun 98, 99, 97 itu 97, 98, 99 untuk mendukung Persija karena seperti kita ketahui sendiri bahwa Jakarta itu adalah multi etnis di mana orang mungkin masih banyak yang suka klub sepak bola berdasarkan ke daerahannya masing-masing.
Most of the upper middle class people in Jakarta are not originally from Jakarta. They came from other cities like Surabaya, maybe from Palembang or from other islands in Jakarta. So their mindset is being set to see football as a working class sport, not as a sport that has prospect in the future.
To be honest, di Jackmania mungkin saat ini masih banyak orang yang berada di kelas bawah dibandingin kelas yang atas.
Common t-shirt you see wearers, people wear like grey LA Jakarta, I'm a son of Jakarta, I'm a child of Jakarta. You know, you're not tied down to any kind of ethnic group. Indonesia's logo is unity and diversity, and as I said, that's what we are in Persija. We are that, unity and diversity. You know, we don't care where you come from.
Before the Jackmania, the working class in Jakarta did not have any sense of belonging. One, because they were from different parts of Indonesia coming together to work in Jakarta, and two, because there were not enough affordable options for entertainment for the working class to enjoy in the city. After the birth of Jackmania, these unfortunates of Jakarta, who did not have much money or did not have any sense of belonging, suddenly found the sense of pride, which could only be found through football. And when Jakarta won the league in 2001, the city went crazy. And the same people who had earlier felt no sense of identity or pride towards the city of Jakarta, they were jumping to the city fountains and celebrating as if this were their city, in a place which was earlier they thought was only reserved for the rich people of Jakarta.
Today, Persija have established their popularity not just in Jakarta, but all over Indonesia. Not having a stadium of their own in Jakarta meant Persija had to often play home games out of other cities like Bekasi and Solo, and that further contributed to their growing popularity.
Pertama mungkin mau nggak mau karena Persija sering main tandang juga, jadi mau nggak mau supporternya juga mungkin atau masyarakat sekitar juga tertarik nonton Persija. Tapi karena memang Persija pada awalnya adalah klub ibu kota yang cukup disegani di Indonesia, jadi banyak juga fans-fans Persija yang berada di luar kota, kayak di kota-kota seperti Ngawi ataupun seperti Purwokerto yang mungkin Brebes, Cirebon, teman-teman atau Kaltim atau Lampung, di mana sebenarnya itu jauh banget dari Jakarta, tapi mereka bisa connect sama Persija itu lebih karena mereka pasti yang pertama mereka nonton pertandingan Persija di TV, mereka kedua suka sama Jackmania, mereka merasa bahwa ada bagian dirinya yang sama dengan Persija, entah itu semangatnya atau entah itu feel-nya. Jadi mereka ingin join ke Jackmania.
Jackmania see Persija as something that they can associate themselves. I'm from Jakarta, so I'm a Persija supporter. That's why I'm a Jackmania.
Jackmania itu mungkin bisa dibilang memang kelompok yang sangat fanatik terhadap Persija, bukan hanya menjadi supporter tapi memang menjadi bagian atau ruh dari Persija Jakarta itu sendiri.
Back in 2017, Persija had to host Persib in Manahan Solo. You know, in Manahan Solo, the east stand is not sheltered by roof, only at the west stand. Most of the Persija Jackmania supporters are in the east stand. 10 minutes before the match, it was raining so hard. It's really, really hard. It's windy and raining, but Jackmania, the supporters, they stay on the stand, keep singing without any concern of the rain. They didn't care about their health. They didn't care about the stuff they bring, their cell phones, their wallet being wet by the rain. They kept singing and supporting the team.
Jackmania today is the largest and most efficiently run fan group in Indonesia, if not in Asia.
Posisi Jackmania dengan Persija itu adalah rekan, mitra atau partner, dan Jackmania itu selalu punya bargaining position yang kuat dimanapun, baik itu di federasi, baik itu di klub, baik itu di pihak kepolisian, dan itu yang menjadikan kita kuat bahwa kita solid, maka orang akan melihat kita itu dengan baik.
The Jackmania is extremely professional. Not only do they have a solid hierarchy which reaches right down to the grassroots, but also have well-defined divisions for ticketing, merchandising, match day, legal, research and development, and social media. Within the Jackmania, there are many small communities which are free to follow whichever subculture they want to. For example, there are communities which follow the ultra subculture. There's communities which follow the casual subculture or the hooligan subculture. There are communities which follow the Baras Bravas. But at the end of the day, all of these fans, they identify as the Jackmania. And this sort of unity is hard to find in other clubs in Indonesian football, where there are multiple organizations which work towards supporting one club.
Jadi semua mau nggak mau kalian inginnya menunjukkan dengan culture apapun, mereka pasti mau nggak mau akan terikat dengan Jackmania. Karena satu, Jackmania kita itu sebelum culture ini tumbuh di Jakarta era sekarang belakangan ini, Jackmania itu sudah lebih kuat dan sudah lebih solid. Jadi karena kita memang satu-satunya organisasi supporter yang memang kuat secara strukturnya, struktur kepemimpinannya dan juga semuanya serba satu pintu. Jadi Jackmania itu mampu untuk menggabungkan semua yang ada. Jadi terserah teman-teman mau mengambil paham apa dalam sepak bolanya. Yang jelas ketika kita berada di satu stadion, ketika berada di luar stadion juga, selama kita mendukung Persija, kita tuh pasti akan namanya Jackmania.
If the first generation of the Jackmania had their best moments in 2001, the second generation had to wait 17 years till Persija won the league again in 2018. This time on the last day.
Sebelum pertandingan kita melakukan bersih-bersih bareng GBK, karena saat itu stadion GBK digunakan untuk acara keagamaan di hari Sabtunya, sementara pertandingan hari Minggunya. Dari malam kita begadang sampai siang untuk membantu agar pertandingan itu berjalan dengan lancar dan bisa dilangsungkan. Dan akhirnya alhamdulillah Persija pun saat itu bisa jadi juara. Jadi momen terbaik sepanjang sejarah saya mendukung Persija adalah ketika Persija juara di tahun 2018 kemarin. Bukan juaranya, tapi sebelum menjadi juaranya dan sebelum pertandingannya. Kita rame-rame ribuan di Jackmania datang ke Stadion GBK untuk bantu beres-beres, bersih-bersih sampai akhirnya pertandingan bisa dijalankan.
Persija Jakarta went from a club with no fans to becoming one of the best supported teams in Indonesia, if not Asia. It's been a long wait for the team of the capital city to have a world-class stadium of its own. With the $300 million Jakarta International Stadium set to be completed by the end of 2021, the Jackmania will finally have the home that they deserve.